Atom was really bullish in the last bull market, but I haven't heard much about it in this market. It's got a $5.3 billion market cap. It's got an average volume of $337 million per 24 hours. And it was launched sometime in March 19. So this is Binance. This is slightly later. This is probably adequate because I think the volume is on Binance. Let me have a look. Yeah, the volume is all on Binance. So probably the chart to use for Atom is Binance. Exactly, David, you're right. Amir takes his time. LOL, you can do other things and watch him. You can multitask. All right. This is quite bullish in the last market. It's going to take time to analyze, to be honest with you. I can't do it in 15 minutes. It's just not possible. It's just not possible. I just don't know how. Because I have to mark off all the levels. I have to do exactly the same thing. How do I do it in 15 minutes? I don't know. I need an AI. I need to build an AI. Shushat, build me an AI and I'll tell it what to do. Okay. We have our levels in. Volume. So look. It's quite a wide range, yeah. Zoom in a bit. Point of control. Value area low. Okay, you've got your levels, your volume levels. This is the overall range. Get rid of this. Keep those all-time high and lows. That's fine. So we have a very powerful yearly level up there. Okay. We have one lower down, but that's already been tapped. See that? The price went down. See how the price went down, took the liquidity, and now it's pushing up. And obviously there's one much further down that has never been reached. But that would be a gift if the price came down to that level. It would be a gift. But it's not going to happen. I don't think so. Yeah, you see these monthly levels, they've all been cleared of liquidity. And this is the most recent one that hadn't been cleared, and it's just been pretty much it's been cleared. See that? So it hadn't been cleared, it came up, it cleared it, tested. So we've finally broken out of that monthly level here. These ones have already cleared, because you see how the wick goes up, it's already cleared it. So they're much less, they're less significant, they're weaker, and all these monthly levels up there are cleared as well. So you've just got that big yearly, level higher up. On the weekly time frame, this one's been cleared. You had this one here. Again, we're above it now. See that? So the price came into this weekly level and to this monthly level, cleared the liquidity, This is a liquidity clearance. And what does that mean, liquidity clearance? It means that people took profit. And then as you got pulled back, people entered again. Yeah, that's what people do. They into these levels, they take their profit. As the price pulls back, they put the money back in, they scale back in. That's what in the bull market, that's what happens. That's what people are doing. Okay. And people wait for these higher levels, these higher time frame levels. The weekly level is a higher time frame level. So now we've finally cleared the monthly level. It looks like we've had a little bit of a back test, and now we're above the weekly level. Now look, it looks like we've got a little bit of a back test on that weekly level. These levels are cleared. So let me just show you something. Do you see how the price has dropped suddenly like that? It's very likely that once we clear this pivot high here, we're going to go up really fast in the same way, exactly the same way how the price has fallen. As soon as we clear this pivot, it's very likely that we're just going to jolt up. Okay, in exactly the same way, because these red candles have formed no resistance on the way down. There's no levels of liquidity. The green candles are where the levels of liquidity are on the way down. So on the way up, you can see there's no green candles. There's no liquidity to clear. It's just gonna go straight up. The next one is that blue line that I have, which also is, as you can see by now, you should be telling me, everyone should be telling me what it is. It's also a weekly level. We've got one higher up there. Okay, at the all-time high. These ones are cleared. All right, lower down. You've got some lower down. There's one there. I don't think I'm going to do daily. Let's just have a look. I always say that and I end up doing it. Yeah, there's some dailies here. That's cleared. Yeah, you have like one there. Probably the last line of defense, actually. Because it kind of corresponds to this one here and to this one here. They're kind of all in the same place. So I'll just mark that one. And then on the way up, you've got some arbitrary daily levels. That's probably the next one. You'll find resistance there, possibly. Got one up there as well. Right. Got to mark this. Should have marked them. Sorry. Say I don't, and I do. Right. Don't. You've got your levels, you've got your volume levels, and now just do a fib pull. Shushan's saying, let me start building an AI model for this support and resistance for you. Thank you. Yes, exactly. How amazing would that be? And just press the button. The AI can do it. So there's two pulls to consider here, because this token's been around for a while. You take it from the all-time low to the all-time high to see how far the price pulled back in this bear market, and that gives you a little bit of indication of how bullish this token is. And clearly the price has failed to come back to the golden pocket, and it's very obvious that in a very messy way the 50% mark, which is the midpoint of the whole range, has held as support in a very messy way. You can see how it has kind of held. That's like a hold, even though it's messy. You can see how the 50% mark reacted, and then here there was support, resistance, kind of messy, resistance, and then it's back up. Okay, so I think that's quite bullish, you know, for when you're looking at the overall price action and you're only getting a higher time frame pullback to the 50% mark of the range. And so when you're contemplating the overall range, that's the high, this is the low, that's the 50% mark. And in the whole of this bear market, the price has been in the top part of the range, above the 50%. That's bullish. That's really bullish. Yeah, it's failed to come lower than 50%. That's really bullish. Just bear that in mind. That's not bearish at all. That's really bullish. The other thing that I can see on the price action, which is interesting, is you're making higher lows here. You see low, and that's a higher low there. Okay, and even though you're thinking, well, that made a lower low, it made a lower low here. That was just a liquidity grab, swing failure. That was your entry actually back in October. You see this, that was your trade. That was the trade. The swing failure of that low, that was the trade. Okay, so anyway, it's just kind of observational notes. So you've got your first fib pull. That's just to see how far back the price has pulled back. Then the other one that you could do is from the high to the bear market low, from there down to here. Okay, and here you can clearly see that the 236 flipped into support. You see how it came up and it flipped into support, and now we're above the 382. Now we're above the 382, and probably you see how here the 50% of this range has reacted as resistance. So that actually, I think that's the level to beat. The golden pocket is here, but because of the way the price is kind of collapsed, yeah, I don't necessarily think the golden pocket is going to hold as resistance. If we flip this 50% up, I think it's very possible that we just rocket through that, just because of what I'm seeing here. Okay, let me just see if there's any other kind of levels of confluence to support my idea. When it comes to the initial targets, I mean, look, there are 5 waves here. You can clearly see them. There are 5 Elliott waves here. You go 1, 2, 3, probably up there. Come to back test this 1, and that's your 5. So as you can see, the 5 is shorter than the 3 because the 3 is shorter than the 1. Yeah, without going into too much depth, it looks like it to me. I don't even know exactly where this 3 ended. Did it end there or there? But it looks like the 3 is shorter than the 1. Okay, and because the 3 is shorter than the 1, the 5 couldn't be longer than the 3. Couldn't be. So the 5 is now shorter than the 3. Okay, that's kind of what I'm seeing here, but it doesn't matter because the whole thing is a 1. This whole thing in the previous bull market is your wave 1, and we've got some kind of correction here, and now probably from, so this is the thing, where did wave 1 begin? Did it begin here, or is it here? It's hard to tell. Probably down here actually. It's possible that this was your 1 here. That was your 1. This is your 2. And now we've started a 3. That could be your 1, 2. We could be in the 3 now. It's not crazy impulsive. You want impulse. You want like this kind of impulse. Like green, green, lots of greens. That doesn't really matter. I think as long as you're flipping levels from resistance into support, that's bullish. And we're kind of we've just done that now. So it's an easy trade to be had here. I mean, technically your invalidation should be under this pivot, but obviously, like I've said before, if you see the price coming and falling back underneath this SR flip, you would close it. So actually you're looking more like that. What you want is that a test? I don't know. That would be a test. But that's on the daily time frame, so you might not get that kind of behavior. You have a little bit of an SR flip going on here as well, just slightly higher up on this previous high. You see that? So you have a really nice invalidation, actually. Something like that. And you, oh God. And then what you want to do, I think what you'll be looking to do, even though the golden pocket should act as resistance, because of the way the price has moved down, I'm thinking something else. Who knows? You have this value area high, but again, because of the way the price has moved down through that, I'm actually thinking if it impulses, you could really rally all the way up to that yearly level up there. Somewhere up there. You have a little bit of a head and shoulders, inverse head and shoulders breakout going on here as well. Like that. I think as long as you hold this 382 above this weekly level, look where we are, and then you have this nice back test today. See that? And it's this back test of this previous high. You have a bit of support here, which we're flipping into support. So as long as you just don't, as long as you don't go down, then I think it's probably good to go up. Probably good to go up. And let me get rid of all of this stuff now. I mean, don't quote me on this. Like the golden pocket can always resist, but I'm just, the reason why I'm thinking it could go through it is just simply because of the way the price dropped through it. You know, just it might hold for 1 or 2 days and it will still power through. And the other thing to bear in mind is there is a range up here, but I think as soon as you get back above the 50%, like when I look at this, I'm seeing this whole thing as a range like that. The 50% mark is your midpoint. Okay, we've just cleared the 382. That's your SR flip. And as soon as the price gets back up to the midpoint, and then we should power through, because we're at the bottom of the top part of the range. Okay, and you could potentially do, how would I do this? You see, I mean, the sign of strength would be just get back into that top of that bit. It's much higher up, yeah. So you see that kind of there. That's where you'll be looking to TP. Somewhere here. Slightly lower than the yearly level, because the yearly level is slightly higher up. Slightly higher up. See that? So I think first instance you'll be looking to take profit there. That's 786. I don't know if the 66, this golden pocket's going to hold as resistance. I think it's quite unlikely, to be honest with you, just looking at this. And potentially what you'll get is you'll go into that resistance and you come back and you'll back test the golden pocket as support now. You might just go through it, come back test it as support for continuation. That's like how I'm imagining the price action, just looking at the way the fibs and the levels are positioned. All right, does that help? Does that help? In terms of targets, let me just create something for you. If you're interested in, like, there's a difference between trading and investing. I will always analyze based on trading. Investing, you should just, for the duration of the bull market, just buy the dips and scale in dollar cost average. That's the right strategy. There. All right. Fib retracement. We'll just put that in the long trend. That's fine. For targets, without going into depth on trend-based fibs, and I haven't done any fib time on this either. I'm not going to do that because it's just going to take too long. But just do a fib extension from the all-time high to this bear market low, and you just do a nice fib extension, and potentially you're looking at these higher targets. So from where we are now is at $13. If we do breach the all-time high, and effectively when you breach the all-time high, you want to flip it as support for continuation, then you're in price discovery, and then you're looking at arbitrary price targets of these numbers here. Maybe the 1.618 is the most extended that I would be looking for at $160. That's pretty, it's a very, very simple way of doing it without really getting too complicated about it, just being very simple. Sometimes it's always best to just be a little bit simple, not get too complicated about targets. There's potentially a channel here as well. There. I think there's a little bit of a channel going on here too. You can see how the pivots here reacted, and you can see how the midpoint here supported and then reacted here. So maybe depending on how when we get to these higher numbers, maybe the price will find resistance on the top of this channel, and then you might, if it does try to extend, you'll probably get the price will fake out and then fall down like that, you know, if it does try to extend. So that's quite a good channel. You could just keep that up. I've really been rough with this channel. I haven't been really exact, but there it is. All right, how's that? All right, guys, I think that's it for today. I think that was good. Thanks for joining me. I'm gonna have a look at BTC quickly. Okay, yes.